Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
And
therapist.
together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
And now, Brad, we also may be like Jesus. Now, I'm not trying to be controversial and I'm not trying to be religious whatsoever. But this all stemmed from my mom. She was in a nursing home for a knee replacement. And she came back and was receiving therapy, not from me. She was up in the Twin Cities. And she said, you know, Robert, you physical therapists are like Jesus. You're going around, you're tending to the sick, you're kind of preaching your gospel of healthiness and fitness. And I said, you know, she's right, but where she really is right is we actually quite often perform what we'd call minor miracles. Wouldn't you say, Brad?
Yeah, things that you'll work with someone and you'll do a simple little technique you've learned on your own or from a recent continuing ed class. And the patient says, wow, that feels so much better. Well, I should have been here a long time ago.
Right.
And they've already had MRIs and x-rays and everything else, and you find out it's something simple.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about 3 miracles that we commonly see in the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is, this is for people who have vertigo or dizziness. The most common cause of vertigo is BPPV, benign positional proximal vertigo. Anyway, I'll put that on
It's
there.
a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Anyway, with this, you get quite a bit of dizziness, or the room is spinning, and it's awful. I mean,
Yeah.
and we just actually did a video where we treated someone. I'll link that up here too.
Yeah.
Where we treated someone who actually had it. One of our staff members. We did one treatment, and it was gone, and it's been gone since. It's a simple treatment. It's called the Epley maneuver. Again, watch the video. But it's a miracle when it happens, Brad.
Right.
I mean, their life is almost in disarray. We do one treatment, it's gone. Sometimes you have to do it again just to make sure it's
Right.
gone.
Now let me clarify, we know it's not a miracle.
No.
Scientifically, we know and the studies show exactly what's going on in the inner ear. But the patient is, to
Yeah,
them,
they feel like it's a miracle,
Yeah.
especially if they've been suffering with it for
Right.
a while. Why don't you name one of your miracles, Brad?
this is one from one of my favorite mentors in the therapy world is Mackenzie.
Yeah,
And
Robin McKenzie.
Robin Mackenzie. I had a patient come in, and why don't you turn around, Bob? She had pain right in here. She had x-rays on it. The doctor put a note on her, thought maybe she had a hairline fracture in the scapula.
Which is the shoulder blade.
Your shoulder blade, exactly right in that location. I went through her, did evaluation on the neck. I could see clearly that the neck had some involvement. I showed her some Mackenzie exercises, very simple stretches with the neck. She came in 2 days, symptoms were gone.
Yeah,
And these were bothering her for a number of weeks, this whole thing was, and it was, you know, Mackenzie had this stuff figured out, and it was really fun for me. It's like, you feel good when you're a therapist when you work.
there's a
something.
lot of McKenzie stories, believe me.
Right.
Because, and I'm going to put up the link to the video. So if you're having neck pain or going into the shoulder blade or even into the arm, watch that video
Right.
because that's the McKenzie technique. And sometimes you may need to see a therapist to get it refined.
Right.
But it's a great starting point
Sure.
for that. So the third miracle, Brad, that I'm going to mention is one of the knee. And this is knee pain that you get right on the front of the knee. We just did a video on this one. I'll put it right up here.
Sure.
And this is patellofemoral pain syndrome, or you might call it chondromalacia. But it's pain, like I said, right behind the knee. We do a taping technique called the Meccano taping technique. Again, one of our mentors.
Yep.
And I've seen quite often, Brad, they'll come in with really pretty severe pain. They can't believe it. In fact, they think something's broken in there.
Mm-hmm.
We tape it over, and the pain is gone.
Usually
Or very decreased.
going up and down stairs,
Yeah.
because it hurts most then. Have them go up and down, do the taping, and they walk up and down with a smile on their face.
Yeah, and it's gone. They just can't believe it. Some of them have been suffering for a long time. Some of them are athletes. We show them how to tape it themselves, and eventually the kneecap stays over so it doesn't give them any more pain. But it's a miracle. I mean, it's, you know, so.
It's fun.
All right, so those are 3 miracles we wanted to mention, and if you haven't already,
Subscribe.
Brad, you're missing your cue.
What are you reading your palm?
No,
Oh.
slap it, baby. Slap that subscribe button. All right.